Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
The earth is in the process of transformation. A separation, such as when a cell divides. Half will remain in the third dimension, the old earth, where there is conflict and violence. The other half will ascend to the fifth dimension, the new earth, where no negativity can exist. All across the world, there are internet content creators that are sharing new information to raise your consciousness and prepare you to ascend to the new earth. Join me, Naima Latif, every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Time, and we will introduce to you these voices of enlightenment. Grand Rising, and thank you all for joining us on this edition of Voices of Enlightenment. I'm your host, Naima Latif, and today we're going to introduce you to some voices of enlightenment. We have recommended a number of content creators on the internet for you to subscribe to, because they are producing content that is going to awaken you, to transform your mind, to empower you to think beyond the limitations of this society. So if you have not yet gone to the On Air Global Media Network channel, the website that gives you a nice variety of listings, then we certainly do invite you to take a look at some of those who are listed on this channel. And there are a number who we are recommending that you may, of course, have heard and seen and even listened to over the years. But today, we want to introduce you to 4 of them that are going to awaken you to some realities that may have been hidden. As we say, all across the internet, there are content creators. And one such person that many refer to is hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon. Now, she, of course, has since transitioned, and her work is being carried on by her daughter, Julia Cannon, but she has introduced a wide body of work, an amazing collection of presentations that you can go to and listen to. And you most certainly have an opportunity to listen as you discover some of the hidden truths that exist. So we recommend that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Metaphysical Hour with Dolores Cannon. Definitely an adventure, as she describes her work as a hypnotherapist, a past life regressionist that takes people back into previous lives. Now, if you are of a belief system where you have not been exposed to the idea that we live multiple lives, this may be challenging for you. But she takes people through her special technique of hypnosis through sometimes the death experience where they have died in a previous life and have chosen to take on a particular life. Also, she discovers that sometimes the way a person died in a previous life might influence certain physical ailments they're having in a present life. And she has observed miraculous healings once people understand the special message that the body is sending them through this illness. They are instantly healed. Now, with this kind of information, wouldn't those who really desire our healing wish to make it more readily available? You would think so. And yet, we have often not been allowed to know these things. But today, we're going to introduce you to some of the work of Dolores Cannon. So take a look at one of her presentations as she addresses audiences and gives them a bit of insight on what prompted her, after having begun this journey through hypnosis with her husband decades ago, to rekindle this work in these times and to introduce the world to so many who are striving to wrap their minds around the reality that we have all been here many, many, many times before. This address, given at one of her conferences, gives us an insight on how her technique helps people go back into the subconscious mind, in which there is a connection to a greater consciousness that knows everything. So let's take a look at hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon.
That experience that we have opened a door. I found we could time travel. We could go through time. We could be there in these things. It was a wonderful adventure. And I said, that's what I want to do. That's the kind of therapy I want to do, is take people in past lives. So that's what, when it came time, I started learning some of the newer methods that were now involving imagery and visualization. And as I did them, I was focusing on past life regression, the past life therapy. Then I began to develop my own system because I never had any rules or regulations. So my whole training has been just what I have learned myself over the last 30 years. So during this last 30 years, I found a way to contact what I call the source of all knowledge. This is not your normal hypnosis. I think when you take these classes, you're taught by what somebody was taught them, or somebody taught them, and somebody taught them, going all the way back. You never really know why you're doing what you're doing. But because I didn't have that, I was free to experiment. And as I began to develop the technique, I said, why do I have to do those things? Isn't it easier to do it a different way? So that's why I developed my own way of doing hypnosis. And this is what I'm teaching now all over the world, because I found a way. The past lives are the beginning, the very tip of the iceberg. And if you read my earlier books, they deal with when I was beginning, what I call time travel, going back in time when the person was there in that time period and living what was happening to them. It was really time travel. That was my first books that I was writing about those cases that came to me. And people said, how did I find my subjects? I never went looking for anybody. They found me in the hills of Arkansas. But I think they had a lot to do with all of this. Nothing is ever a coincidence. So the first books I wrote were the Jesus books, and then the Nostradamus books came along.
There's one major difference between a talk that gets 4,000 views versus a talk that gets 4 million views. And it's not what you think. This is something no one in the speaking world ever talks about. This is like the thing that led to me speaking at the United Nations 4 times in front of 10,000 people, at Disney, KPMG, Morgan Stanley, Lululemon. And that is just like I live in this odd, unique tree house.
But as I developed the technique, I work in the deepest possible level of trance. I have to understand these things, because sometimes I give a lecture, and at the end of the lecture, somebody will say, I still don't understand how you got this information. So that's why I'm trying to give you a little bit of background. But I work in the deepest possible level of trance. And the other methods always say, don't go there. Don't work in the deep level. Strange things happen there. If you read my books, you know strange things happen there. But to me, that's where all the information is and all of the knowledge. So I'd rather work in the deep level. You get the conscious mind out of the picture. It cannot interfere. And it is like going through time in a time tunnel. The person is there. They are that person. Anything in our time period that did not exist in their time period, they won't even know what you're talking about. They are totally there. So to me, as a curious person, that was really a wonderful way to research history. Now, people say they think I'm a psychic or a channel. I'm not. I'm a hypnotherapist, and I consider myself to be the reporter, the investigator, the researcher of lost knowledge. Because as I did this work, I began to get information that had been lost, never known, or forgotten. And I was supposed to bring it back into our time period. That's where my books are. They keep coming and coming, and more information is there. Where my information comes from, and where the healing in my work comes from, is this power that I'm telling you about. That's why I said having a past life regression, anybody can do it that knows how. That's the tip of the iceberg. You're going to get some information, but you're not going to get what is possible. And that's why I go to this other source. The part that I get my information from, I call it the subconscious. But it's not the subconscious the way it's defined by psychiatrists. That's a childish part of the mind. That's the part of the mind that you use when you're doing habits, stop smoking and lose weight. That's just not the part that I work with. I call it the subconscious because I didn't know what else to call it. It began coming through over the years, and then I found a way to call it in, and now I work with it constantly. But you may say, if you want to define it, you may say it's the oversoul, the higher self, the higher consciousness. It is so big and so huge, it has the answers to everything. It has total knowledge. It is so full of love. It's so big, but yet it cares about each and every person. It's beautiful to work with. And this is where the healings come from. I'm not doing any of it. I'm just a facilitator. But I see miracles every day in my office now, because I found a way to call it in during the session, and it does the healing. And I've seen it happen instantly in one session. I have people coming now from all over the world just for a session. And I don't encourage that because, that's a long way to come. I see lots of cancer cases. I call them they, because I asked them one time, who am I speaking to? What is this? And they say, you may want to say we are the collective. I said, that sounds like the Borg on Star Trek. We're the collective. We are a group. And people say, well, maybe you're speaking to their guides and guardian angels. No, the guides and the guardian angels have a purpose, but they're down here. You can get information from them, but not this kind of information. And they say, maybe you're speaking to the ascended masters. That's not what it is either, because I've been told the ascended masters are just like you. They're beings, they're people. They're the ones who have got enough knowledge, they don't need to come back to Earth anymore. They are over there and doing their job, but they're still in that other part. What I'm speaking to is way, way above that. And it is full of love. When I work, you can feel the love in the room. And my classes now, we have a website where they can interact and talk to each other, so they're never left alone out there.
This is the work of Dolores Canyon, being able to take people through the process of hypnosis and getting them to a point where, as she says, the conscious mind is out of the way and they're connecting to a greater power that can tell them anything they need to know about their lives. So we advise that you subscribe to the YouTube channels and the websites of these voices of enlightenment that we have recommended. And we're going to bring you another voice of enlightenment, a content creator whose channel, Next Level Soul, certainly takes your soul to the next level as he addresses those who have gone through near-death experiences and are sharing what they recall. We'll be right back after this quick break, and we want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be back with more of Voices of Enlightenment after this quick break, so stay with us. When you see Black children misbehaving in public, being loud, disrespectful, and destructive, do you think to yourself, what they need is a good beating? That's what's wrong with these parents. They don't know how to discipline their children. Were you disciplined in that way? And did your parents also call you stupid, ignorant, and lazy? That's the way you break a slave. You terrorize them with constant fear of painful punishment. You teach them they're powerless to speak up, and you insult them so they feel like nothing. We were broken by parents who were broken, by parents who were broken. It's time to end the cycle of brokenness and bring healing to ourselves and our communities by using knowledge, respect, and love. We'll show you how. I'm Naima Latif. Get the book Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. On sale now. Go to www.naimalatif.com. And we are back. You are watching Voices of Enlightenment on the Female Solution Global Broadcast. And I am your host, Naima Latif, today. And we're advising you to subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels and podcasts and those websites that can enlighten your mind. One such content creator has a channel, Next Level Soul. His name is Alex Ferrari. He is a filmmaker by trade, and his filmmaking took another turn when he began to receive information that prompted him to explore other realms. And he's done a series of interviews of near-death experiencers. This is significant because when people die and come back, they tell a story that is totally different than what our religions teach us. Those who say, well, no one's ever died and come back to tell what happens. Yes, people have. And now that we have the internet, we have a way to share that knowledge all across the world. So it's time for us to change our mistaken belief systems so that we can benefit from those who have come back to tell their story. So let's take a look at this bit of information that was gathered by internet content creator, talk show host, creator of Next Level Soul, Alex Ferrari.
I started to experience the pain that I inflicted on others from their point of view. It felt like I had ripped a piece of their soul apart.
What happened was left me feeling complete change in my life, but I saw enough to really change things for me.
I was in heaven for 15 minutes. When I died, I didn't even own a Bible, so I had never read it.
I realized that my whole life I've been a seeker. I came in knowing that there was something I needed to know. I can remember trying to make known the unknown.
I'm now surrounded by just this incredible feeling of peace and love and safety.
Floating above, and I could see my little body on the couch, and I could hear Dr. Bouch, and he was saying, "You've got to wake her up every hour or she will die."
So guys, welcome to the Best of 2025 series that we are doing of the best interviews that we had on all of 2025. We had an amazing year, an amazing set of guests, so inspirational, so beautiful, and so funny, so dramatic. There's been a bunch of stuff going on. And in this episode, we're bringing you the best near-death experience conversations we had of 2025. And they were eclectic and beautiful and hilarious and touching and inspirational. It has just been one heck of a year. So sit back and enjoy.
So it was on March 23rd, 2019, which is actually the beginning of the season of Aries, which is the symbol of rebirth. And it's right around the spring solstice. And this was an epic rebirth. I took too much because I was going to go do my laundry. And I was like, I better be real wavy to go do this laundry.
Because laundry is rough.
Yeah. And I ended up overdosing, and I had this incredibly contrasted experience in my overdose. The first part of it was a life review. And like I said, I was a traumatized person who was intentionally traumatizing other people.
I was waiting for this.
Yes. My life review was not nice. It was not a good time. It was brutal. It was agonizing. I started to experience the pain that I inflicted on others from their point of view. And it was emotional pain that I was feeling too, not just the physical things that I had done to people, like lied, cheated, stolen from, beaten, all of this physical stuff. The emotional pain and turmoil, like it felt like I had ripped a piece of their soul apart. And so that was what I was experiencing. And then I started to experience what felt like a collective life review. I was experiencing all the experiences that have ever happened on Earth. because I was experiencing things that had not happened in this physical lifetime for me. Like I experienced childbirth, but I'm not a person who's had a child. I experienced the death of my child. Again, not a person who's had a child. My awareness is going into all of these other life experiences. Today, I have some awareness that I've had past lives like that. And so it was kind of coming to me like that. But I was also seeing it from people's perspectives in my family. So when I had this experience of my child dying, I was in the awareness of my aunt, who my cousin died. And so I was experiencing her pain. I was seeing her face, feeling her agony. And then I started to experience my parents' suicide from their point of view, as well as my point of view as a grieving daughter. But from their point of view, the pain, the ocean of anguish that I was drowning in, it felt like every cell in my body was covered in spikes and static and concrete, and I was being shredded apart. And in that moment, I thought, okay, I must be dead, because I'm seeing all these dead people, and I'm dead, and this is it, and this sucks. This is not what I expected.
So before we keep going, so did you just, when you overdosed, did you just pop into a life review, or was there a tunnel of light? Was there darkness? What was it? I fell on my bathroom floor, and I just started to feel the feelings. So, and it took me years to piece together that it was a life review. Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the elements that we hear often in these near-death experiences is that life review. And there are sometimes people may meet religious figures, some may meet past transitioned family members, some meet guides, some meet beings that they don't know who they are. But the most profound thing is the feelings that they feel from what they did. They experience other people's feelings. Now, some are overwhelmed, and here is another experiencer that, as he was seeing that which he did not expect to see, he was overwhelmed.
Except for cancer.
There's a big giant thing of cancer on you. Yeah.
Everybody gets a little piece of cancer every once in a while, you know. You haven't lived till you had some, right?
Yeah.
So here's one who passed away from cancer and had a profound revelation and an understanding of the meaning of life as a result of his near-death experience. So let's take a look and listen to someone whose life was changed as a result of that near-death experience. And you, of course, can decide if you have changed your previous thought about what happens.
Look up the medical record, say how long it was. During that 35 to 40 minutes that they were gone, that mass rolled over my airway, and I suffocated to death. My heart stopped. I had no oxygen. My wife is the one that discovered me turning blue, deeper blue, deeper blue, deeper blue. I looked like somebody in the Blue Man Group, except I had no makeup. I was just no oxygen. She ran out of the room out there and hollered, "He's blue, he's blue." And the doctor was at the nurse's station. And the doctor, of course, ran in and discovered me. She was right. I had stopped breathing. My heart had stopped. They, of course, hit the code blue button. Mm-hmm. Everybody in the world came in. They chased my wife out of there because no, I'm not aware of this. Okay. I mean, we've read the medical records, what it is, you know, and they started working on trying to get me breathing again. They were doing CPR. It took them 15 minutes of CPR to get my heart going. And they were in the process. They were trying to get oxygen into me. They couldn't do that. Now, when I died the first time, I'd actually died 3 times.
Right.
Okay.
Within this one,
in succession.
Yeah. Within this situation.
Yes.
Got it.
So the first time that I died, I was in heaven for 15 minutes. Basically, is about what we tried to equate that time. 15 minutes Earth time. We tried to equate this according to how long, no heart, no absence, no nothing, no stimulus, and everything according to medical records. I left my body, and I remember hovering above my body and looking down and going like, wow. And I'm watching all the nurses and the doctors crawl under the tables. There were tubes. They were pushing. They ended up breaking my ribs, of course, doing CPR, trying to get my heart going. I drifted out to the hall, and I saw my wife just crying. She was just hysterical, as you can imagine. And literally, there were puddles of tear on the floor. She was bent over.
Were you aware that you were dead?
At that point, I knew something isn't normal here. Okay. Yes, I'm not with my body. I'm going like looking down. It's surreal, but it wasn't like that. I'm going, oh wow, I'm down. It's like, what's
happening?
Yeah, I mean,
and no pain, no nothing.
No pain, no feeling, nothing. I'm just watching.
You're just at this point. You're just kind of like hovering and watching the situation.
Yes.
Got it.
And I drifted back into the thing. Now, this isn't for a long period of time. Sure. This was like maybe, 20, 30 seconds, how long it takes to look down and see what's going on. And I drifted out here. And then that fast, I was standing in heaven. I didn't see a tunnel of light. I didn't go through a tunnel of light. I didn't do anything. I was just in heaven.
So what does heaven look like?
Oh, my gosh. I remember the feeling that as soon as I was standing there, now I could feel, I could smell, I could hear, I could do everything. And I was standing at the edge of what I call like the inner courtyard, if you would call it. It's like a huge maze.
Stone?
Like, pardon?
Is this a stone or is it?
No, it was. There were trees and bushes.
So it's all natural.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm standing here and I'm looking around, literally like you were just, what's it like? And I'm looking at the trees and the flowers and just the shrub, everything. And it's just like, they're just massive and so beautiful and brilliant. And like we have 43 oak trees in our backyard. And our oak trees, compared to the trees in heaven, are like little dying branches.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the colors are so vibrant and bright. And it's not like 3-dimensional. It's like gazillion dimensional. I mean, it's just, they're just there. And the flowers and the colors and Did
you see colors I didn't recognize?
Yes. You've talked to other people. There is absolutely no way you could describe all of it. There's colors and trees and the greens and different colors they don't even have here.
What are you feeling?
I am feeling the most peaceful, loving feeling. It's like a huge giant hug. It's like you're connected to everything and everything just fills you with love.
Yes, the love. That is the common memory. There's only love. And so beliefs of hell and damnation and condemnation, the near-death experiencers are constantly saying that when we transition, and the transition is painless, and we go to a place of beauty and love. We're going to take a quick break and come back with more as we take a look at channeling. Can people who have transitioned come back through those who are still here? We'll talk about that as we meet a woman who channels the one we know as Jesus, and he's teaching today. We'll be right back. Stick and stay. Don't stray away. We will be right back after this quick break, so stay with us.
Welcome to Master Force with Mushim Sut. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page. As we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force, our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
Leaders of nonprofits empowering worlds. Let's go.
But the vision that God gave me, I felt that it was time for me to step out and work on the vision that God gave me.
We need look no further. We have a unique voice. We have a unique talent pool.
We are back. You're watching Voices of Enlightenment. I'm your host, Naima Latif, and we want to bring you those voices of enlightenment that can transform your thinking as you are introduced to new information that may challenge your current belief systems. So, there are many who say that they are Christian, followers of the one we know as Jesus. And there is a common story about his life. Well, there is a woman who does what is called channeling, Tina Louise Spalding. Channels the one we know as Jesus. And through her, a book has been produced called Jesus, My Autobiography. There's another channeled book that many are familiar with. It's called A Course in Miracles, channeled by the one we know as Jesus to another individual. And this book is designed to help us deconstruct the programming that keeps us living in a state of fear. Well, today we want to bring you a bit of a channel session, a recent channel session by the one we know as Jesus through Tina Louise Spalding, addressing these times we're living in and things we should be doing to prepare for a new society that we are responsible for creating. So let's take a look at this channel message from the one we know as Jesus by Tina Louise Spalding, Trance Channel. And let's see what we learn from the one we know as Jesus.
Hello everyone, Tina Spalding Trance Channel here today. It is April 24th, 2026, and I'm getting the call to do a video for you guys. Before I get into the channeling, I would just like to get you to like and subscribe, and please share this video. I usually don't ask this, but I've been noticing a lot of YouTubers are asking people to subscribe. So if you aren't subscribed, please do that. It really helps getting more people to see this material. So these are the times that this channel was made for. And Jesus has been very clear that if you do not manage your mind, somebody else will manage your mind. And if you are fearful of what's happening in the world, if you are super angry at certain elements of the world, this is the time for you to do A Course in Miracles. And I use my Course in Miracles training every single day to bring me back to a state of peace. And I can't recommend it highly enough. I've been a Course in Miracles student now for 24 years, I guess. Not studying it so much since I started channeling, because of course I have the greatest teacher in the world as my guide. But the work of training your mind is really where the war is taking place now. And with your social media, such as now, you're listening on your phone. You may be lying in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning listening to this, but the next video won't be as helpful, and the video after that won't be as helpful. It will probably be a fear-mongering video. So please subscribe, like, and consider doing A Course in Miracles. One more thing, I am doing a beautiful retreat, in-person Channeling Jesus retreat in September on Salt Spring Island in British Columbia, Canada. And we have spaces available still. We do have a lot of registrants, but we do have some room for some more. So please go to channelingjesus.com and you will see the information there if you would like to come in person and meet a lot of like-minded people. Perhaps you are feeling lonely. Perhaps you wish you could connect with other Course in Miracles students. And you certainly will be able to do that at this retreat. They are beautiful experiences, fully catered. This is on a farm that is absolutely gorgeous, not rustic at all, very, very high-end farm, and really, really beautiful environment, beautiful people, and of course, Jesus' beautiful teachings. So go to channelingjesus.com and find out about that. You can also join my online membership at channelingjesus.com, and there you will have access to every video I've ever made, which is, I don't know, 11 or 1200, and 3 monthly live streams where I do Q&As with Jesus. So if you're floundering a little bit in this crazy old world, those are some things that can help you. Let's see what Jesus has to say to us today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. When we want our dear one to do a video such as this, we gently nudge her, and she will be brushing her teeth, and we will gently nudge her. She will be lollygagging around, and we will gently nudge her. And after an hour or so of us nudging her, she realizes, oh, right, yes, I'm getting that feeling. And this is how we work with you. In your society, you have been indoctrinated into such fear around hearing voices or any kind of physical symptom. But when you get a nudge, when you get a little idea, you don't run screaming from the room. And so generally, that is how we will communicate with you. But we are past subtle nudges with most of you now. As you gaze upon this world, if you believe in everything that you are being told, you are going into a state of fear. You are worried about everything. The gas supply, the electrical supply, the water supply, the food supply. And what we want you to understand is this, that we have been sharing a message for over a decade now of investing in the physical world. Now, this may seem counterintuitive as we are spiritual teachers, but when you are relying on the very, very unstable structures that you are witnessing falling now, you witnessed many of them teetering and falling in 2020, it is your lack of investment in your own environment that is starting to tell. Think about the history of humanity. Now, you have a very inaccurate history of humanity, but we won't go into that right now. But what we will tell you is this, is it is only very, very recently that humans have relied completely on their governments to legislate, to organize, and to control their water, their food, all of these supplies that you need to live. In what you call the olden days, people always had a garden. And one of the things that we are going to recommend for you now, it is spring. In many northern climes, it has not been warm enough yet to put in a garden, but we are saying to you this year, put in a garden. Yes, you have beautiful lawns. Yes, you have neighborhoods that hold a certain, what we will say, frame of reference for the use of your garden. But we will say to you, by the end of this year, you will be very, very pleased that you put in a garden. And we understand that this comes across as fear-mongering for some of you, but it is not. It is a message that we have been bringing forth for years and years and years. And now, as your house of cards is wavering in the winds of war, you begin to see the wisdom of our advice over the years. We have advised over the years to move to a less urban environment, not a more urban environment. We have been advising over the years for you to invest in your garden supplies, your greenhouse, your raised beds, your irrigation systems. We have suggested that this is a good investment. We have suggested that you do not rely completely on other people for your income in the sense of a regular job. Entrepreneurship requires that you have 2, 3, 4 streams of income. You might be teaching a little bit here, you might be demonstrating a workshop there, you might be doing something online, and what you will find if you are involved in entrepreneurship is that you do not have one stream of income. This is a very risky situation right now, having one stream of income, because of the changes that are coming to your planet. There are Course in Miracles teachers who would say that Jesus will never talk about the world and how to manage the world. Of course, we are recommending that you all do a Course in Miracles, that you manage your minds, that you train your minds, and that in training your mind, you will reach a frequency where guidance is more easily accessed. What do you think that guidance is going to tell you? It is going to tell you to turn left or right. It is going to tell you to sell your house or not sell your house. It is going to tell you to follow that creative idea or not. That is the guidance that your guides and teachers will bring you, because we can see farther down the road than you can see.
Advice from the one we know as Jesus, as channeled through Tina Louise Spalding. And again, the book A Course in Miracles, another book that was channeled to an individual for these times. And it's significant that we are being reminded that we need to take back our control of our livelihood, grow our own food so that we are not depending on a government that may put us in positions of not being able to have access to that which will sustain our lives. Very practical advice, channeled from the one we know as Jesus. We invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channels and follow those content creators that have access to information that you too can have access to if you expand your mind. We're going to take one last break and bring you someone from beyond our world, an extraterrestrial who is sharing information that can help us prepare for the future. We'll be right back after this quick break, and we want you to stick and stay. Don't stray away. We'll be right back after this last message. Stay with us.
Great day. It's your girl Asada here to introduce a new female solution show called Asada Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asada says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on the Female Solution.
Yes, we are back. And this last content creator that we're introducing to you comes from outside our world. And he has shared his story that, having incarnated on Earth sometime around the age of 4 or 5 years old, he began to have visitations from his star family, reminding him of his lineage outside this earth and his mission to awaken the planet. And so let's bring you one of the videos by a Pleiadian, one who comes from another starship, another star family, another star system known as the Pleiades. And his name is Alaye. And he shares with us from his video series, the documentary Cosmic Love. And he says, love is the solution to everything.
Hello, I'm Alaye. I come from the star system of the Pleiades. I'm a member of the Galactic Federation, in which thousands of benevolent races of this universe are working together. This is not science fiction. If you're intelligent, you will investigate this information before you criticize it. I gave many seminars about developing the consciousness in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Many of us live here as volunteers in order to eliminate the negativity of Earth. Each one has his own abilities and tasks. The universes are naturally full of living beings of different dimensions, but this is kept as a secret on our planet. Your dark governments ridicule the topics about extraterrestrials and developing the consciousness, in order that we have no interest in this and laugh about it. The people in power are lying to you since thousands of years about extraterrestrials and cosmic laws. They don't want you to know because they are afraid to lose their power over you. If you don't believe that, try to find out the truth one way tomorrow. The proof exists, but you have to find it by yourself. Only then you will believe and know. They want you to create negative energies and work for them as slaves, by financing their wars with your taxes and providing everything that has to do with spirituality and extraterrestrials. They are showing you fake pictures from space, so you will think that there is nothing out there. Find it out yourself. You will be very angry that they always have been lying to you. The higher evolved people from other planets want you to flee from this system. The truth is that all the universes are inhabited. It is a natural thing and has nothing to do with science fiction. Many extraterrestrials who visited Earth in the past were worshipped by the primitive Earth people as angels or gods. This is the reason why you still have religions and belief systems on Earth. You are praying to extraterrestrials who lived here thousands of years ago, positive and negative extraterrestrials. It makes no difference for the truth, if you believe it or not. It has always been our reality. Try to find it out. Thousands of Earth people know this already. And in a few years, everybody will see that you were never alone in the universe. Don't be shocked when you see thousands of ships in the sky. Find out which one is sending you off. These are the spiritual ones. Some negative extraterrestrials pretend to be us, the Pleiadians. And some people have contact with them and spreading misinformation. Don't be blinded with real and UFO pictures. More important is who is inside the ships. There is a war between the light and the darkness going on behind your backs. To free you from the mind slavery that you are living since 12,000 years. You are not free on earth. You have forgotten what freedom is. The only things you know are hate, violence, terror, cigarette trucks, taxes, fake governments for to win, fear, belief systems, and superstition. The secret government is creating these things in order to control you. They are creating the terror themselves so that they can legally give more power to the military and control technologies. Their goal is to amplify the negative energy. Do you want to live in such a world? We know that many of you don't believe that, so again, find out yourself. The evidence is there, but you have to make the effort to find it. Try to erase the negativity in your minds. Concentrate on positive energy. That is your power against the evil. They are powerless against this energy. That is why they want you to distract from this power. Don't let the dark government manipulate you. They are using television, radio, newspapers, cigarette trucks, religions, TV politicians, military, electromagnetic waves, and self-networks in order to keep you in a negative mode.
We have been warned. These are things that are being used to manipulate us and to keep us negative, keep our vibration low, keep us from being able to use our minds. These people who are giving us messages are all saying that we have the power to change this world, to transform our minds, to transform our reality. But we must control our minds, and we cannot do it as long as we are kept in a negative state of fear. So we ask that you subscribe to the YouTube channels, Facebook pages, podcasts, the content creators who are giving us wisdom. We call them the voices of enlightenment, because we know that once we have gotten the information that's going to change our thinking, we can then change our world. So once again, we ask that you subscribe to these channels, and we'll be having some of these content creators on our program so that you can meet them, talk to them, and we will also have those who are sharing information on to talk about their experiences, whether they be near-death experiences or speaking to those who channel. And again, you can go to the on-air internet radio and TV guide and just tap on the picture and it will give you a link to their YouTube channel, and you can subscribe and follow them, and you can become aware, because it's all a matter of awareness. that keeps you from being trapped in a state of fear. And we've got a comment from a viewer. Zelda Robinson says, Grand Rising, beautiful queen teacher, enjoying the show from Indianapolis. Wonderful. And she says, love will keep us behaving like civilized people instead of living in fear. Lead from love. Every good thing will follow. Ashe. Yes. As our extraterrestrial friend Elijah says, love is the solution to everything. And that's the message that people are bringing back, those who have come back from near-death experiences, those who channel higher consciousness, those who remember past lives from hypnosis, and those from other worlds outside of our realm. This is the message we all need to hear, that the family of Earth is being bombarded with so that we can make a change. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Naima Latif, and we invite you to come on back tonight for the on-air daily news hour at 7 p.m. And of course, come on back tomorrow, and you will hear another exciting show with our host, Mu Shamsut, as she brings us Master Force. And we are so excited for all of our hosts who are enlightened and bringing you messages that can transform your mind. So make sure you like and subscribe to the Female Solution YouTube page, and like our Facebook page, and follow us daily. And until tomorrow, continue to shine your light. We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jareh. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.